Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another online training session that is conducted by the Deanship of E-Learning and IT, myself, Rima Shaheen, and today we are going to discuss a very exciting and very in, So be ready to embark on a journey of knowledge, skill enhancement, and the personal growth. This session promises to the enriching the experience filled with the value of insight, interactive learning, and opportunities for the professional development, inshallah. So at the moment, I'm excited to talk about you crafting standards for consistent assessments with Blackboard Ultra, and our topic is how to create the standards for the assessments. So this terminology with the Blackboard Ultra is much familiar with you all because you are using this learning management system since years. So all of you must be interested in this session. Why? Because this is connected with your current course lesson plans and current your journey of the giving a lectures of a online, and even if you are not giving a lectures online, you are connected with the Blackboard with the and other different things like the assessment test discussions and different kind of the activities you have to perform on a Blackboard. So without go further ado, let's dive into the exciting training session and then make the most of this opportunity to expand our knowledge and capabilities. Standards. What is the meaning of the standards? What first thing come into your mind to read this word? Is it related to the some restrictions? Is it giving you a some piece of or set of instructions to make you a restrict? For me or according to me, and I will prove it, that it's not related to any restrictions. That would be related to some clear outcome requirements. So setting standards in higher education course content is imperative to ensure quality, consistency, and the relevancy in academic programs. Firstly, standards provide a benchmark for assessing the deep knowledge of the educational content, ensuring that it meets the highest academic standards. This helps maintain the integrity of the degree and certifications, ensuring that graduates are well prepared for the challenge of other chosen fields. Secondly, standards promote consistency across institutions, helping students and employers have confidence in the quality and the comparability of education. It enables seamless credit transfer and the facilities to recognition the qualification globally. And lastly, standards allow for the incorporations of current research, industry trends, and social development into the course content, make education more relevant and adaptable to the evolving need of the students and workforce. Ultimately, setting standard in higher education course content is an essential step in providing students with a robust, up-to-date, and a valuable learning experience. So, when we are talking about the standards, and we are here to discuss something which is related to the Blackboard, so there is a one terminology used that is called rubrics. Rubrics is one of the terminology which is internationally used, not just related to the learning management system or something like that, but it's a complete set of standards, set of instructions for the course content. So this terminology we are using, and it's embedded with our learning management system, Blackboard, and we do have a very advanced setting and features to implement this effectively. Today, we will discuss on it. This is not a small topic. This is a wide and very deep topic to understand these rubrics. Even if I'm here at right point, if I'm saying it's related to the only online education or it's related to the just traditional education, no, it's depend on a both. If you are just giving offline any session or any lecture or course, you need to be a set of standards for your course. Or if I convert it to the virtual environment, so you do need also a set of standards and set of instructions. So let's have a look what actually the meaning of rubrics, how we apply and how we can utilize it. In a very simple line, if I explain the rubric, a rubric is a guide for evaluating student performance related to exams, assessments, projects, and more. Rubrics are created by the educator to assess student work on the basis of specific, clearly established criteria and expectations of quality work. So if I expand this definition, so how I will going to explain that rubric can help ensure consistent and impartial grading and help students focus on your expectations. A rubric is a guide for evaluating the student performance related to exam, assignments, projects, and more. Rubrics are created by the educator to assess students' work on the basis of specific, clearly established criteria and expectation of quality of work, often laid out in a just format. There is a sum of the format for table format. Rubric communicate expectations for the both teacher and student and include information on what learning outcomes are required from student work and how that work should be made qualitative and how students' work fits into that measurements. That is our one line story. That how learners need to just get the how what is the requirement of the student work, and then work should be measured qualitatively and how student work fits into that measurements. That is basically work by the rubrics. When we are talking about the rubrics, so a rubric refers to a formative assessment tool. This is connected with the exams or formative assessments. What is the meaning of the formative assessments? Basically, the assessments is an essential part of any teaching and learning process. It allows us to measure student progress, identify area where students need additional support, make informed decisions about instructions. However, assessments can also be challenging, especially when it comes to ensure that our assessments are consistent and fair. Blackboard Ultra offer a variety of tools and features that can help us to create more consistent and effective assessments. In this presentation, we will explore some of these tools and features and discuss how to use them to craft standards for consistent assessments. Rubrics are a valuable tool of assessing the student learning. They provide a clear criteria and standard for each level of achievement, making it easy to grade assessment consistently and fairly. Rubric can also be used to provide students with feedback on their work and help them to improve their performance over time. So Blackboard Ultra offers different features. So it will help us to create anything with tool, make our work more smartly, and we can done it very accurately. So formative assessment basically is a type of assessment used in education to monitor and evaluate student progress and understanding of a subject or topic while the learning process is still ongoing. Unlike summative assessments where they're typically used to assign the grades and measures of learning outcomes at the end of the course or unit, formative assessments are conducted throughout the learning process. The primary process, the formative assessment purpose, the primary purpose, is to provide the feedback to both teachers and students, helping them to understand how well the material is being to be identified, the exact area that they require further attention or improvement, not just for the students, even for the teachers as well. So formative assessments can take the various forms such as quizzes, polls, discussions, homework assignments, group activities, peer evaluations, and classroom observations. They can be formal or informal, and their main goal is to inform instructional decisions. Teachers use the information gathered from formative assessments to adapt their teaching method, modify lesson plan, and provide additional support to or challenges to the student as needed. Now the question is, what rubric standards consist of? Basically, it consists of some expectation, tangible set of expectations, some objective framework of objective, streamlined grading, and one clear layout. Now the question is, what is the purpose of rubrics? How we can use and why we are using this? A rubric is a scoring tool, so you can use to evaluate the graded work. When you create a rubric, you divide the assigned work into parts. You can provide a clear description of the characteristics of work associated with each part. At varying level of skills, students can use a rubric to organize their effort to meet requirements of the graded work. When you allow students access to rubric before they complete their work, you provide transparent into your grading method. So you can say that in a rubric purpose that you can evaluate the graded work, divide the task, just assign tasks, you can divide, provide a one clear description, and you can just varying the level of skills. So these four different purposes which we can use to get the required outcomes from the assessments. I'm going to tell you a one quick overview about the rubric, that how we create rubric on a Blackboard Ultra. This is not the end of the story. I'm just giving you a final picture, and then we have a great discussion on each of the point. Let's have a look how we create the rubric, how it's look like, how to add in a table, and all these things. So let's have a look how to create rubric.
People create rubrics to use as a scoring tool when evaluating graded work. Let's take a look. You can start the process of creating a rubric from the gradebook or when creating an assessment. In your gradebook, select the settings icon. Then, in the gradebook settings panel, select Create New Rubric in the Course Rubric section. When creating an assessment, you will need to create your rubric before you add questions to the assessment. On the assignment, test, or discussion page, select the settings icon to open the settings panel. In the Additional Tools section, select Add Grading Rubric, and then select Create New Rubric. On the New Rubric page, type a title, and then select a rubric type. By default, 4 criteria rows and 4 achievement level columns appear. You can add, delete, or rename the rows and columns. Point to a cell to access the edit and delete icons. Select the plus sign wherever you want to add a row or column and type a title. If you don't want a row or column, you can delete it. The criteria total percentage must equal 100%. If the percentages don't equal 100, a warning message appears at the bottom of the screen. Select Balanced Criteria next to the message to auto-adjust the percentage so they equal 100, or you can manually update the percentages as needed. For the levels of achievement, one column must have a value of 100%. You can align goals with rows in the rubric if you want to measure achievement against the goals set by your institution. Select Align with Goals to get started. When you are finished creating your rubric, select Save.
So you can